What is going on YouTube? And welcome back to JoJo Speaks. So guess what? JoJo Speaks is going to be reviewing the ninth season of Housewives of Potomac here on my channel. So I hope you guys enjoy the ride with me. I have to say this is my favorite Housewives franchise. I do watch Housewives of Atlanta. I do watch Housewives of Dubai. I kind of dibble and dabble into Housewives of Salt Lake City. And I also will be watching Real Housewives of New York as well. I love Real Housewives of New York. But let's get into Real Housewives of Potomac. Once again, this is season 9, episode 1. So we start out with a reenactment of Karen's accident. Of course, as everyone knows, Karen was involved in a DUI accident, and all the girls seem to be very interested. They seem to be very worried about Karen, seeing what's going on with her. So we start out with Jazelle in the car talking to Ashley and, kind of gossiping about what happened with Karen and saying that Karen has not left the house and she's going to want to, kind of cheer Karen up. And I'm interested in seeing what are Giselle's intentions this year. It seems like she's trying to do better. It seems like, after the death of her father, unfortunately, my condolences out to Giselle and her entire family dealing with that loss. She said it was extremely sudden, and so I cannot imagine having to go through that. However, it seems like Giselle is trying to turn over a new leaf. Not exactly sure if that's going to work out the way that she plans for it to work out, but I at least will give Giselle a chance. Although in past seasons, I am not like Giselle whatsoever. I have not had any time for Giselle. I did not like Giselle at all since I started watching this particular franchise, and I believe I started watching it for season 7. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this goes. So Giselle and Karen go out to a nice little eatery. Just Karen seems to frequent this place. She knows the waiter. The waiter brought her a nice little donut, and Giselle throws a little shade, saying, because the waiter says that Karen has never had a drink here, which is really interesting that, that's a comment that he would say on television while she's sitting there with Giselle Bryant, that Karen has never had a drink at this establishment. And Giselle was like, well, y'all don't even serve drinks here. And the waiter was like, well, look behind you. The ladies back there, they seem to be, enjoying some mimosas of some sort. And so I thought that was very interesting. And Giselle is picking and prodding and trying to get some information out of Karen, but Giselle's like, no, I'm not on no shady time. You know what I'm saying? I just care about my friend and I want to know what's going on with my friend. And so, I'm just going along with it or whatever. But of course, Karen comes up with the line, we can't discuss the issues or the details concerning the case because it has not been adjudicated yet. And so, I was thinking, is this a situation where you can't discuss the details of the case? I don't know if that's necessarily true. I think that's just a decision that Karen has made because she does not want to talk about it. That's just my personal opinion. But anyways, then we see Mia and Gordon. They're out walking with their children, their two beautiful children, and they're kind of discussing this arrangement they seem to have with Ink, and Mia being on their relationship terms. And Gordon is actually, she says that Gordon is actually living in their building, and I feel like that might be what's best for the three of them. It's very interesting that they bring up this whole question of paternity with Mia's child, and whether Gordon or Ink is the father. And Ink wants to get a paternity test. And I'm hoping that they're only doing this for the sake of reality TV. I hope that this is not an actual genuine question of paternity. But I'm kind of mixed on whether this is actually a genuine question, whether Gordon or Ink is the father of this child, or whether they're just doing this for reality TV. I don't know. I would hope that it is genuine, that they're not just doing this for reality TV. But knowing Mia, ain't no telling what was actually going on. So then we see Karen. She's hanging out with her friends Vivian and Stacy. Stacy is a beautiful woman. She used to work for QVC while living in Philadelphia, and now she's back in the DMV area. She told the ladies that she is now separated from her husband of over 10 years. She met him. Years ago. They have a beautiful baby. Not a baby girl, but they have a beautiful daughter. And I like the vibe that's going on between Vivian, Stacy, and Karen. And they ask her if she feels feel some type of way that they're, taking part in some libations, of an alcoholic sort. And Karen's like, oh, no, 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 we'll be indulging sooner than later. So I really, really liked seeing that. Then we get to Wendy, my favorite housewife of this particular franchise. I will always ride for Wendy. Wendy is my favorite, maybe one of my favorite housewives of all time, to be honest. I absolutely love Wendy, but she's having a conversation with Eddie concerning the fact that she's going to resign from her position as a professor. And I can only imagine the depth of sorrow she might be going through leaving this job, but it seems like she's doing it for herself. So maybe there's not much sorrow going through Wendy's mind while she's doing this. But she sends the email and she says that she's nervous about telling her mother about her leaving the job. And when you have a mother who is of African descent, excuse me, of course, they always have very high expectations of their children. And I can only imagine what Wendy would be going through. And I'm assuming that we're actually going to be seeing Wendy's mother's reaction to her giving her mother this news that she is no longer going to be a professor. And I'm hoping that this works out for the best with Wendy. And so we'll see what happens with that. Then we see Ashley. She's meeting up with her lawyer, saying that she's finally going through with this divorce with Michael. Ashley has been talking about this divorce for the last 2 to 3 seasons, and she actually admitted, surprisingly, that she's been feeling comfortable and hasn't felt any sense of urgency to actually go through with the divorce. And so now that she's in a better place, she's out dating, putting her feet out in the water again, trying, different things. We saw her on 2 separate dates, and can't necessarily say that, either one of them went that well. They seem to be happy during their dates. I thought the first guy was really cute. The second guy, not so much, but it is what it is. But it's good to see Ashley out there doing her thing again. And then we have Jazelle throwing a little birthday hat party for Karen to kind of get the ball rolling with everyone. We all know that Jacqueline is now a permanent housewife. I don't know exactly how I feel about that. I won't say that she's not housewife material. However, we will. It remains to be seen what she will bring to the show, and what type of dynamic she will add to the show. So I hope that she is a good fit for the girls, but. We'll see what happens there. Giselle has this taco hat. She has a construction hat. She has this a banana hat. She has all these different types of hats, and the scenery seems very, very beautiful. And Karen actually walks in with a cowboy hat with fringe on it, and I absolutely loved it. And so all the girls are sitting down at the table, and Giselle is setting out the rules of this little hat party that they're having. And Giselle is saying, if anybody gets an attitude, it's a hatitude party, not an attitude party. I kind of like that little jest that Giselle is going with there. But things are being brought up. Just Jacqueline actually says out loud. Well, Mia brought up the fact that Jacqueline told her that Karen called her, and it sounded like she was a little tipsy. Not sure if that was necessarily true or not. She didn't bring it up when Karen came into the room, so I'm assuming that might mean that might not have been true. But because Karen is going to point out a lie if she's going to hear it, especially if it's a lie about her. So not necessarily sure if that's true or not, but we'll see where it goes from there. But we eventually get to Mia receiving the king hat. And Giselle gives Mia the king hat because she's pimping two men. Of course, Giselle has to be shady at all times, so it did not surprise me that she said that about Mia. And Mia didn't seem to take any offense to it, which was somewhat surprising to me, but I guess she wants to wear the crown, so go ahead and wear that crown, girl. But then Karen comes in and says, well, I was very worried about your children because they were plastered all over social media. And Mia's like, well, actually, it was Gordon that was plastering my children all over social media. And Karen literally said that Mia did not protect her children. And I feel like that was going a little bit too far, at least in my opinion, because, Karen and Mia have never really been that close. And so I don't know if Karen is privy to exactly what's going on in Mia's life as it pertains to both Ink and Gordon. And I was really actually surprised that Mia didn't bring up the fact that that Ink wants to get a paternity test. And Gordon actually mentioned that he was interested in getting a paternity test as well. But Mia got all up in arms, saying that she does not appreciate the fact that Karen and Giselle, because Giselle was chiming in on the conversation as well. The fact that she's got her kids that are stuck between these two parental figures, and it's a really really touchy subject for Mia. Mia ends up walking off, going out to the bathroom, and she starts crying. And I don't know if this is drama for the show. I don't know if this was genuine emotion that Mia is feeling. As of course, Mia is known for being a massive liar, and so we don't know exactly if that was genuine or not. But I thought it was a really, really good first episode. It seems like the ladies were given a talking to because at the beginning of the reunion for season 8, Andy said, this season was pretty hard to get through because everyone was so disagreeable. Everyone was at each other's throats. There was a group of people over here, a group of people over there, and so it was really interesting to see the ladies kind of getting along for the most part. I'm assuming that this season is not going to be nearly as contentious as the previous two seasons have been, but that remains to be seen. I have to say that I really did not miss Robin at all. I'm so glad that she is no longer on the show, and I have to say that I didn't necessarily miss Candace either. I think Candace would be okay in this group, possibly. I don't know if she would ever be able to get past what Giselle did to her and Chris last year, though. So not last year, but two seasons ago. So I'm not sure how that would have gone, and I'm thinking that the fact that Candace is not here has given Giselle the green light to turn over a new leaf, and she doesn't have to act fake with anyone. Of course, we know that Giselle and Wendy still have not been on the best of terms, and so in the preview for the rest of the season, we see that, and also in the trailer for the season that came out a couple of weeks ago, or I'm sorry, maybe a month ago or so, it seems like Wendy and Giselle will actually be getting along this season. And as I'm trying to give Giselle another chance, I'm trying to give her some grace. Maybe because Wendy is my favorite housewife, I will begin to sort of kind of like Giselle. We'll see where that goes. But I'm excited to be reviewing this season of Real Housewives of Potomac season 9. I hope you'll be excited in joining me with it. What were your thoughts on the first episode? Leave them down in the comments for me. Thank you guys so much for enjoying this video. I'll see you guys later.